Hey, welcome into DFS Army's MLB talk today, guys. I want to go through a little bit of who to play, maybe a little bit of why on the MLB angle using the DFS Army Research Station. That is a tool that throws a whole bunch of statistics at you, and I'm going to focus on just a few key parts here in just a second. But you might also be interested in NBA, and if you are, today is definitely the day for you. You can combine both MLB and NBA at the VIP program for one price. Very simple. Click the Army link down there in the comments section. Coupon code CHOP CHOP at dfsarmy.com and get a 20% off discount. Get in here and make yourself a better player. Every single sport, every single tool, every single coach, and coaches are most important because we actually spend the time with you to help you become a better player, show you how to use our tools, talk to you about strategy, talk to you about game plan, bankroll management, contest selection, all of these things to make you a better, more competitive player. DFSArmy.com, super easy. Follow me on Twitter while you're there, like and subscribe to the video, turn your notifications on, and let's kind of get to rolling. The first thing that I do when I open up the MLB Research Station at DFS Army is I come down here to the pitchers or the batters matchup tab and I go to the pitchers matchup tab first. I want to take a look at my pitchers. Who are my good pitchers? Who are my bad pitchers on the slate? That tells me just about everything that I need to know. And I've tied it all up in one neat little bow in this little area over here called Chop Shop. Really simple. I sort the K score by descending order by clicking on this little thing here, clicking descending, and it brings all the big numbers to the top. K-score, briefly stated, is the matchup between a pitcher and the opposing team. A high strikeout pitcher versus a high strikeout team is what we're looking for. We're trying to compare apples to apples among these pitchers and their matchups tonight. I don't care about floor in GPPs. I mean, strikeouts are my floor, but I'm looking for the upside. I don't care about necessarily his SIERA, his ERA, his WHIP, all this kind. I just want him to have a good night in a great matchup, and I'm going to gamble on that. Now, if I was playing cash games, I'd be a little bit safer, be a little bit more concerned with maybe I want a guy who also won't wreck my lineup. But in a tournament, I don't care. I just want his upside. And I'm looking a little bit at this Brady Singer kid just because his number popped, but it's a very small sample. I'm not going to give him a ton of credit. I'm really more looking at Lamet, Robbie Ray, Bieber. People are going to look at Robbie Ray and laugh tonight because he's facing the Dodgers, but Robbie Ray can strike anybody out. He can have a 10-12 strikeout night if they allow him to go deep enough in the game. He might get rocked for 4 or 5 runs too. But we're in a tournament, we're only hoping for the good. We don't care about the bad. If bad happens, it wasn't going to win us anything anyway. So we're looking for the good. And Robbie Ray is one of the top pitchers tonight, strikeout potential wise. Lamet's a little bit higher, so we probably will focus on him as well. Now, when I look at the bad pitchers, I actually take W score and sort that in ascending order and throw all of those big numbers at the bottom. Why is that? W score is the opposite of K score. It's using WOBA. It's looking for high WOBA teams going up against pitchers that allow high WOBAs against. Guys that don't get people out, that allow doubles and home runs and things like that. Those are the bad pitchers we're looking to target. So this gives us an entry-level idea of who we might want to stack tonight to start our research pointed in the right direction. I also do look for high SIERAs, high WHIPs, high home runs per 9, big in baseball, obviously. Low K percentage, high walk rate, high fly ball rate, etc. I'm looking for a lot of red in this area, and it's usually going to be found down here on the bottom. Now tonight shuffles up some green guys, so we might want to take a little bit of care towards this red stuff. But the bottom pitcher, Tyler Anderson, is obviously in a horrible spot. Down here, it's not like Steven Matz is in a great spot either. You have some pluses to some of these other guys, like a Bieber. He's down here pretty low because he gives up some WOBA, but he doesn't give up a lot of other stuff. So you might not really want to target him unless you're being super crazy in a super big GPP. I would look for home run per 9. Take a look maybe at Matz, maybe a little bit of Ray for contrarian. Maybe you hedge some of your Ray exposure tonight with Dodgers bats. Nova up here certainly, in J. Happ. Dylan Bundy, these would be guys I would target against because they give up a lot of home runs, they give up some WOBA against, and they're facing teams that can put a little bit of hurting on you. So when I look over here, J. Happ, Baltimore might be a decent stack tonight. Dylan Bundy, Seattle might be a decent stack tonight. I think a lot of people will be on Baltimore. I don't think anyone's going to be paying attention to Seattle. Didn't they hang 10 runs on LA last night? Might not be a bad one to go back to. Nova, Kansas City, Whit Merrifield had great BVP last night. Hope you were on him. I had him at 30 to 35% exposure in my own lineups. Went way overweight on him. Bieber, if you're being ultra contrarian. Ray, if you're being contrarian. But then Boston and San Diego down here are also teams you're maybe going to want to stack. Okay, so you've got a couple of good pitchers that you've already pointed out in Lamet and Robbie Ray if you're taking a tournament approach, maybe a Bieber even. But if you're looking to stack against people, that's where Ray and Bieber come back in there for hedge, hedge plans, hedge ideas. And then we can go back to somebody like targeting against an Anderson, a Matz, a Nova, a Hap, something like that. Gives you a few places to go, a few places to start. So let's take this to the next level. Now that we've done our entry-level research, and we go over here to the batter tab. And we do the same thing that we did in the starting pitching tab, except we're more focused on WOBA, not K-score. So I'm going to knock these two games out. They're not on the main slate, and I'm going to start going through position by position. If I click this number off and bring everybody to the top, I swing all the way over here, and I sort my W score by descending order this time. So if you're taking notes, sort it by ascending order for pitchers, descending order for bats. I'm wanting to bring all of the big dogs up to the top. Somebody with a huge WOBA and then facing a pitcher that allows a lot of WOBA against, somebody like a Manny Machado, JD Martinez, Will Myers, Tommy Pham. You see how these guys are popping to the top? This is what you want to know, and this is the fastest way to find it that there is. Just to give you a basic idea, and then I'm going to look through this team column here, and I see San Diego, San Diego, San Diego, San Diego, San Diego. Probably a good idea. Tyler Anderson was the worst pitcher on the slate. Probably verification that that's a solid stack tonight. Whether it works or not, solid stack. Boston, one off. Well, there's a two off down there with Vasquez. Mini stack maybe. The Mets, you've got a couple of Yankees in here. These are guys to mix and match. You may even scroll down a little bit, see if more names pop. There comes Baltimore. So these are ways to take a look at who you might want to include in your stacks. If you're spreading out over a lot of lineups and you want to go a little bit overweight on the field, you might consider San Diego, you might consider Baltimore, you might consider a couple of those types of teams to go overweight the field on and gain that leverage. Now, the next idea is to go position by position. Let's take the catchers and let's just run through what I would call the better bats on the slate. Doesn't mean that somebody way down here like a grinder can't get a start and hit a bomb. It happens every night somewhere. But I scroll back over to the chop shop, I look at K-score. I've noticed, or W score, I've noticed that about 580 seems to be a good number. 500 for pitchers in K-score, but 580 for batters in W-score. So, I might go down here a little bit, but I'm looking for a drop-off. I want to see how shallow the position might be tonight. Because just because a guy is second or third on the list doesn't mean he's great. If it drops from a 580 to a 501, the 580 is significantly better than the 501. So I see guys up here, there's a little bit of a drop after 580, and then a bunch of guys muddled into like the 550, 540 range. So I might key in on a Vasquez. I might include a Severino, but he's not too far away from a Ramos, a Garver. These guys are always in play. Sanchez, always in play. These are the guys that I'd probably key on, but I might put a little boost on projections of Vasquez in my lineups tonight, just based on this number alone. Now I come over to first base and I do it again. It's going to give me an idea of, am I paying up for a scarce position like catcher, or am I going to pay down at a position like first base because it happens to be deep? 630, 624, 580, and then a drop to 550. 630 is better than 580, but 580 is better than 550. And then down to 540. So if I include just the top four guys, Alonso, Hosmer, Nunez, Vogelbach, right? These would be guys that are in good matchups tonight specifically. These would be guys I would boost in my projections. So I'll come over here really quick and round this stuff out. So we're looking down here about the top two. So Profar and LeMahieu at second base. Sounds reasonable. Third base. Double check again. 1, 2, maybe the top two, maybe a third. So Machado, Turner, Rendon. I mean, am I right? You're going to run your stacks in a lot of cases around a team of hitters, and then you're going to want your one-offs to have pop. So if you boost these guys in the projections in your optimizer of choice, You're going to be getting these guys as one-offs to round out your team. Say you end up with the Kansas City Royals, not an expensive team. A 5 stack on DraftKings is not really all that expensive. Bang, 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 3 big one-offs. If you don't boost these one-offs, your optimizer might not pick up on them. So give them a boost. Don't be afraid to give them a boost and get these guys, get your Judges, your JD Martinez's, your even a Will Myers, he's popping on this particular graphic. So as a one-off, he might be great. 585 down to 573, 560, 540. He's probably the top one or two there. Torres, maybe Bogarts are guys that I would key on here. And then outfield is always deep because you get 3 positions and they all hit. The best ones in the league anyway, hit on every team. They've all got a few thumpers. So we come back over to the chop shop to round this baby out. And look, 750 and 700. Will Myers, JD Martinez is going to be pretty tops on the slate. Down all the way to 580. Drops off pretty quick though tonight. So we come down to about AJ Pollock, Hunter Renfroe, maybe a Brian Goodwin being cheap. Hit a bomb last night, I believe. So these are JD Martinez, Will Myers, Tommy Pham, Aaron Judge, Soler, Pollock, Renfroe, Goodwin. A lot of people won't be on Pollock, but Goodwin, probably Goodwin too. These are the guys that I would give boosts. So what have I boosted? Maybe 10, 12 players in my projection. And then that's going to pop those 10 or 12 guys in my optimizer a little bit more frequently than the others. Set up my lineups to have a little bit better chance. I'm going to stack around San Diego, stack around Baltimore, stack around, maybe Kansas City, Seattle, whatever. The other teams that were kind of popping. Another hint for you, the LA Dodgers right-handed bats, because that's where Robbie Ray tends to struggle. And then I would use Lamet, Ray, Bieber in my tournament lineups, and then I would come through my top W scores: Vasquez, Severino, maybe at catcher, Alonso, Hosmer, Nunez at first base, Profar, LeMahieu second base, Machado, Turner third base, Torres shortstop. Outfield's pretty loaded: JD Martinez, Will Myers, Tommy Pham, Aaron Judge, Jorge Soler, AJ Pollock, and Hunter Renfroe. Those are the guys that I would boost in my projection system for tonight. I'd set up my lineups. I would try to do my best mixing and matching, and then go from there. So this is what, been 11, 12 minutes, a complete slate breakdown. You aren't going to get that anywhere else for free, but if you want more information, you want more details, you want questions answered that you have to make yourself a better player, you've got to come in here and ask the knowledgeable guys at dfsarmy.com. We are coaches, we are contributors, and we're here to help you. Use the coupon code CHOP, trigger the 20% off discount, like and subscribe to the video, hit that notification button so when we do this again here in the next day or two, add in some hockey or something like that. We're ready to roll with the full restart of the coronavirus era that is the year of 2020. Hope you guys win thousands and thousands of dollars. We'll talk to you guys very soon.